1979. Iranian revolutionaries stormed the U.S. Embassy in Tehran and took 52 Americans hostage. Never had the United States seemed so helpless. But as the mob came over the wall, 6 American diplomats climbed through a back window and hid out in a house belonging to the Canadian Embassy. Tony Mendez, the CIA's master of disguise, got the call to sneak the 6 out of Iran.
And I got the message that says, the president has approved your mission. Good luck, you know. It's the only time it ever happened in my career.
Marooned in a country vowing death to Americans, the 6 diplomats needed a disguise good enough to convince the Iranians they were not diplomats at all, but were in Iran for an entirely different reason.
What kind of reason would 6 or 8 Americans have for being in Tehran at this point in history? I mean, it'd have to be insane.
Now retired, the CIA's Mendez tells for the first time how he gave the Americans new identities so they could hide in plain sight.
And all of a sudden it occurred to me that a motion picture location scouting party would go anywhere in the world they needed to go to find the right hill.
So Mendez created a major motion picture and advertised it in Variety.
I sketched a logo for our movie on a yellow line pad.
Lights, camera, cover story for the 6 Americans.
A cosmic conflagration from a story by Teresa Harris.
Cora Lijek, one of the 6, was cast in the role of Teresa Harris. Until now, she has never told the story.
I was the writer. I had written a screenplay for a movie.
Her husband Mark was cast as the movie's transportation chief.
We were told that if somebody tried to check our bona fides by phone, that they would get confirmation from somebody in Hollywood that yes, there was a production company.
We had telephones, typewriters, you know, secretaries, paper clips, everything you needed.
Everything but confidence that 6 scared novices could pull it off.
These were not clandestine operatives. These were innocent American diplomats who had no experience, you know, skulking around through the alleyways of the world.
So Mendez and another CIA officer went into Tehran disguised as members of the film crew.
He had a bit of a the con man to him. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily want to buy a used car from him, you know.
Mendez had come to con the Americans into believing they could play the role of a lifetime.
It seems like you're dealing with exact opposites. Bureaucrats, Hollywood film crew.
Exactly.
How do you loosen up bureaucrats to be a Hollywood film crew?
Everybody wants to be a movie star.
But they still had to get through the airport to catch a plane for home.
Walking into the airport was really scary, being in a public place after almost 3 months of most of the time being in a house.
If somebody who really knew about movies started asking me what I was doing, it would become pretty clear that I didn't have the foggiest idea.
Mendez had chosen an early morning Swiss Air flight, hoping to catch the guard at the immigration counter at his sleepiest.
He took our papers and he disappeared. He'd gone back to a cup of tea, we discovered. So that was kind of nerve-wracking.
And then we hear an announcement that the Swiss Air flight is going to be delayed because of mechanical problems. And all of a sudden everybody's face goes, you know.
But it really was a mechanical delay, and after a couple of long plane rides, the 6 returned home to a tumultuous welcome. Mendez was nowhere to be seen.
Sort of develop a mentality in our business where you consider success to be the fact that nobody knew. Nobody will ever know.
Until now. Almost 20 years later, the CIA has publicly recognized Mendez and allowed him to tell this one story. But there are others.
It's sort of a nice, warm, powerful feeling to be able to make a cover that will sustain the test of time.
These days, Tony Mendez spends his time creating art, works he wants people to notice. But his greatest works were the ones no one noticed. In Knoxville, Maryland, this is David Martin for Eye on America.